Alright, what's up YouTube? Got a quick little video on my HK45. I've been having some jamming issues lately with it, so contacted a few people and they helped me out. The loading nozzle got bent, so we're gonna get down to fixing it. First thing you want to do, go ahead and remove your mag. Go ahead, remove your slide, get it to the slide notch. Make sure you get it on that groove. Boom, slides out. Go ahead, cock it back, cock it forward, she releases. Make sure everything's intact down there. Always double check, always want to check your screws, everything's tight. Alright, so what you're going to do here, you're going to go ahead and remove your spring guide. There you go. Just put that off to the side. Go ahead and remove your outer barrel and your inner barrel with your hop-up unit. Lay that off to the side, you're not going to need that right now. Okay, getting to the breech and the cylinder. If you can see closely, I can't, sorry for the, it's not zooming in, not focusing, but that right there, the loading nozzle is bent. So that's the part we're going to go ahead and change. You're going to take your Allen wrench, don't know what size it is, sorry guys, but it's pretty small. Go ahead and take it, it's a little tight. And what's that? It's connected to your rear sight, so go ahead and just unscrew it. Alright, we're just taking off this screw. There it goes. Fell off. Just go ahead and put that to the side. You don't want to lose that. That's a really main screw that you need. So this is our new part. Let me make some space for you guys. This is the cylinder, I believe, nozzle. That's your part number. I'll write it in the description so you guys can go ahead and order that from KDWA Pro Shop. That's where I got this from. Brand new nozzle. For you guys who don't know, this is a USP45 based build. Okay, it just has a different slide, different cuts, but basically this is the NS2 system. So let me see if I can get it focused. Can't get it. Don't worry about it. You know what it is. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna get a little flathead screwdriver, and there's gonna be a little notch here on the slide. Be very careful. This is your breech that you're going to kind of pop up. It's not too hard, but you're going to be very gentle because you can go ahead and snap it. See if it pops out like that. And hit it. Not coming out. Okay, there goes the rear sight. That's a plus. Go ahead and put that off to the side. So you're going to go ahead. Those are your return springs on the bottom. See if you can push it out. It's a little pain in the butt, but just be patient and take your time. You don't want this to break. Alright, sorry about that guys. Had to get a bigger flathead for that. The one was too small. So what you're going to do, go ahead, like I said, put it in that little tab. You'll see it. It's a cutout groove. Just go ahead, lay your flathead, and you're going to lift up in a lift up motion, and boom, there she goes. That's your whole cylinder. You're not going to need your top slide, so go ahead and put it out off to the side. And that's your cylinder breech. You see the part right here. I don't know if you guys can tell in the video, but it's bent to shit. to hell. So we're gonna go ahead and change that. These are your return springs, guys. I suggest you be very, very, very gentle with those springs, because they are very, very, very soft and very brittle, and they will bend for nothing, for anything. Sorry. Go ahead. I use the tweezer for this because it's a little easier. Go ahead and there's these two little I want to say notches that the spring falls upon. Just go ahead and release it, and there you go. Boom. Comes right off. Just go ahead and take the other springs off, because you're going to move these springs to the new nozzle. Make sure your O-ring's all right, everything's intact. Make sure the screw on the O-ring is okay. And this is pretty much, I want to say, kind of like your flute valve spring guide kind of thing. You don't want to lose that. You're going to really need that. Just put that off to the side. That goes on the back of the breech. Double check, make sure everything's okay, everything's nice and tight. And what you're going to do now is there's a flute valve in there with a spring inside the nozzle. There's a punch, just any little punch pin. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. That little pin is what's holding in the spring in the. I already pretty much pushed it out. So you're gonna go ahead and boom, there she goes. She's out. That's your flute valve. That's what gives these guys these hell of a freaking FPS. So go ahead, take out the spring. Go ahead and push it out if you have to. Well, you don't want to lose that spring. Very important. Alright guys, you're going to go ahead, like I said, take off those springs. Be very gentle, guys. They break and they bend very easily. Go ahead and pull them out. Be very gentle. As you see, I'm not being too gentle. Oh, there it goes. Boom. They're little, man. They're very tiny. Sorry I can't get the focus in, but I already pretty much kind of bent mine, so be careful. There you go, your flute valve and your flute spring. Go ahead and put your flute valve inside the spring and go ahead and lay it down inside. It should pretty much fall into place. This part right here is a little tricky. You're going to go ahead and push down with a flathead screwdriver, a little Allen key, whatever you got to push down there, and hold the flute valve and the spring so you can get that pin that we needed. That pin, just go ahead and hold on. Alright guys, pretty much reverse the steps that I just did. You're going to go ahead and put the pin in, hold the flute valve, and I pretty much got everything intact. Put those return springs back in. If you're having trouble, just rewind the video and everything's there. Your springs are on. Make sure that little spring guide is up on the back. It's kind of like a, I don't want to say a half moon, I don't know what kind of shape it is. Like a circle slash square. The square part goes on the bottom. So make sure your return springs are making the cylinder return. Your flute valve is in place. Go ahead and grab your slide. Be very gentle, be very careful so the springs don't pop out. Oh, one thing you don't want to forget, make sure your rear side is back in, because that's what the screws into. So go ahead, make sure it's aligned. This may be a little tricky at first, so try to hold it with 2 fingers while you're putting in the cylinder, the breech. Yeah, it's a little tricky. You'll fight it, but we'll get through it. So go ahead, make sure you're holding it. Just slip it right in. It should fall into place. You might have to put a little bit of pressure to, you'll hear a click. There you go. But you see the issue here with the rear sight. You got to hold that rear sight in place, because if you don't hold it in, it's going to just push off to the side. Go ahead and remove it again. Alright, what I found to be the easiest to keep the rear sight in place was go ahead and get your screw and your Allen key and click it all in, and it should keep it in place. Be very careful, make sure everything's intact and aligned. Boom, the click again, you should be good. You're still going to see it kind of like loose. Just go ahead and get your Allen wrench and screw that screw down. Be very cautious while you're doing this. Make sure everything's in place. Go slow. Don't put too much pressure, and make sure your return springs and everything's perfect. That's what it should be doing. And we're good to go. Then you replace your loading nozzle. I shouldn't have any more jams. Repeating the steps. Go ahead and put your inner barrel inside your outer barrel. Make sure everything you're bucking, everything's intact. Go ahead. Boom. Get your slide. There you go. Now you're gonna go ahead and put your spring guide in. Make sure you get this. Could be tricky. Kind of easy, but it's Jedi. Just there you go. Make sure everything falls in place. Oh. And there she goes. Slide is good. Go ahead, get your lower. Follow the guidelines on the receiver. Put your pin in. Slide catch pin. And there you go. Everything should be flowing fine. Make sure you guys lube up everything, and you should be good. Thanks for watching, guys.